Most Americans, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, understand that we can't just cut our way to prosperity. They know that broad-based economic growth requires a balanced approach to deficit reduction.
You heard it right there. Just one of the ways that President Obama hopes to improve the economy and put Americans back to work. Back with us again now is Stephen Caliendo, our political analyst. Your thoughts on his speech when it focuses on the economy?
Yeah, it was interesting. You know, this has been consistent right throughout the campaign, State of the Union address, or the inauguration address and State of the Union address, is that he wants a balanced approach. What that means, of course, is that there's going to have to be cuts, and both sides agree on that. What the sides don't agree on is, though, whether we should have tax increases for the wealthiest Americans. And so that's what the president was, when he says balanced approach, that's really what he's getting at there.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio presented the Republican response. Let's listen to a clip of that and get your thoughts, Stephen.
Raising taxes won't create private sector jobs, and there's no realistic tax increase that could lower our deficits by almost $4 trillion. That's why I hope the president will abandon his obsession with raising taxes and instead work with us to achieve real growth in our economy.
Again, sounds like they're never going to come to a position in the middle.
Yeah, and he's right, of course, but it's also the case that there's not enough cuts that can be made that also could reduce the deficit enough either, and that's why the president's sort of arguing for a balanced approach. I was really disappointed in Marco Rubio's speech. I thought it would be better. He gave a better speech at the RNC. I was there in Tampa. Even though he had to follow Clint Eastwood, he still sort of pulled it off. And here he sort of had, the water bottle, right?
Yeah, let's talk about that, because many conservatives were saying he was really on a roll.
Yeah.
And then he got thirsty.
I didn't think he was even on that much of a roll, given that I know what he can do, because it sort of seemed like a stale speech. But I'm glad he went for the water bottle. He should have gone for the water bottle sooner. He was smacking his mouth through the whole thing. It was sort of a dry mouth situation.
The side of the but there's pressure, right? I mean, you're in a situation where it's just you and one camera. You don't have the applause from the crowd like the president has. Does this hurt him? He's a big player in the Republican Party.
He only has 10 minutes to sort of make this case, which is pretty complicated, making a supply-side economic sort of argument. I don't know if it hurts him. I mean, he should have probably called Bobby Jindal first. Bobby Jindal had to do this 4 years ago. You don't want to bat after Mickey Mantle. You don't want to speak after President Obama. It's not an easy task, that's for sure.
Well, the man needs a drink of water.
That's what you got to get him a drink of water.
But it's a huge honor to be, to get the nod from your party.
It is. Although I say if you're an up-and-comer, I think maybe you decline. Yeah, I don't know that it's a good idea.
Thanks, but no thanks.
He's going to be attacked just for getting a sip of water.
That's right.
Yep.